Alright, hey guys. I wanted to go through and kind of do a video for you on the key attributes of a linear function. So this is what's going to be on our quiz on Friday. So I should be able to give you any linear equation, and you will know it's a linear equation because it will just have an x in the equation. Okay. If it has anything x squared, that would be quadratic, and anything to the power of x, it would be an exponential function. But we're just focusing on linear equations. Okay. So the first thing that you guys should do on your calculator is you want to make sure you do a master clear. So you'd go in here and you're going to do second plus 712, and then you'll hit enter so that you can go in and do that master clear on your calculator. You'll know you've done it because it's got that RAM cleared on the calculator. Okay. The next thing that you're going to want to do is we want to graph this equation. So we'll go in, we'll hit y equals, and we will put in the equation. Now, if you have any fractions, negative signs, those kind of things, you really want to make sure you're using parentheses. Parentheses are definitely your friend when it comes to using the calculator. So we're going to do an open parentheses, 1 divided by 2. We'll close the parentheses, and we're going to use our variable x, and then we'll subtract 12. Now, once we have this, we can hit graph. And we got to give the calculator a little bit of time to work. You'll see it was spinning up there in the right corner. But hopefully you guys noticed that the graph shows up, but barely. So one of the next things that you want to be able to do is kind of open your window. And we practiced this in class, so hopefully this isn't a surprise to you. You guys would go and just hit the window button. And from here, we want to open it up. Now, you can pick what you think will work. Sometimes I like just to open it up really wide. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to make this, I'm going to change everything to 100 just so I can make it huge. Okay. So in this case, it's going to be negative 100. That is my x-axis, and it's going to be on the negative side. We're going to make the maximum go up to a positive 100, and then we'll go down here and do the same thing on the y-axis. So we'll do negative 100. And then for the positive side of the y-axis, we're going to do positive 100. Okay. Once we have that, we can go back and graph it. And you're going to see how it kind of opened it up, and now you can really see this graph. Okay. So the first thing that you're going to have on the quiz is we really need to know what is our domain and range. And when we talk about linear functions, the nice thing is we can kind of see that this really has kind of an arrow on the end, and it keeps going, and it does the same thing down here on this side. So just like we would do with our domain and range quiz that we took last week, for domain we would say, you know, what is our left bound? What's the smallest number, the minimum that it could be in this case? So we know for domain that the smallest it can be is negative infinity, which in this case is going to be less than x. And on the right hand side, we want the maximum it can be. So we know the maximum it can be is going to be positive 100, or I'm sorry, positive infinity. Okay. And if you want to write it in a short notation, you could just sit here and do that fancy R that we talked about that stands for all real numbers. So either one of these will work. Now, if we talk about the range of this function, this linear function, we would kind of do something similar, but we're looking at the y-axis. So we're going down and saying what's the minimum it can be on the y-axis, and we know it's going to keep going down to negative infinity. So we would say negative infinity less than y less than, and it's going to go all the way up to positive infinity. So the domain and range on linear functions has the same domain and range. We would both say that they both have all real numbers as their domain and range for this.